fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and FFD tuned in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Tune in to the fish report.
All right, it's season number 5 of Fish Report Live. Welcome to the show, everyone. If you don't know us, my name's Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. We're your host. Back in our sound room, we got a couple guys that run the camera and the sound back there. We call them TK and Heavy D. We're going to be talking to them in just a little bit. And Ken, season number 5, back. Been waiting all summer for this. We're going to have a lot of fun this season, aren't we?
Yes, we will, Craig. Really looking forward to it. Hard to believe we're in our 5th season already. Kind of took a little time off over the summer like we usually do, and but made a few changes, and everything for the most part still the same. We're going to cover all the great high school sports action in the local area, and cover some of the athletes, the coaches, and who knows who we'll come up with throughout the next several months. But really looking forward to season number 5.
Yeah, that's kind of what this show's all about for people that don't know. It's a high school sports talk show. Like you said, we talk to athletes, coaches, and try to keep it fun, try to keep it positive. But let's go back to the sound room, check in with the guys back there, welcome them back this season. TK and Heavy D, good to have you back. Hope you had a good summer, and how's things going this season?
Well, so far so good. We've got a little bit more elbow room back in the sound room. I appreciate that, Craig.
Nice new sign behind us here.
Yeah.
So we know where we are.
Fully stocked counter of cashews, so I think we're good to go.
Keep these guys fed back here, Craig. That's the main thing, ain't it?
All right, it sure is. And we got a few changes this season. We'll introduce those as we go on the show and everything. But, Ken, we got, just like we do every show, we got big interviews coming up. And tonight, no different. Got an athlete and a coach, don't we?
Yes, we do, Craig. Talking to one of the hottest boy cross-country runners right out of the gate this year. It's Anna Jr. Lucas Huber. He's off to a great start, Craig. He won the Shelby County preview last week. He got second the following weekend at the big meet that he ran in. So Anna, cross-country star Lucas Huber, off to a great start. Also, Craig, looking forward to talk to longtime Russia girls golf coach Doug Borchers. Doug does a great job with the girls program. Took the girls all the way to the district tournament last year. He's got some good golfers back again this year, and his girls are off to a great start. So we'll look forward to see what he has to say about his team and where he wants to take them this year.
All right, and one thing we used to do, we did every show for the last 4 years, is we did something called a trivia question. Mm-hmm. You'd ask me a trivia question. Going to change it a little bit this year. This way, I don't have to think so hard. Our viewers don't have to think so hard. But instead of a trivia question, we're going to do a poll question, and it's a little bit of the same thing, but the viewers still participate. I just don't have to think so hard.
That's right, Craig. What we'll do is we'll come up with a question for the week. It'll be a poll question posted on the live portion of fishreport.com. And our viewers out there can go on and pick and choose who they feel is the right answer, and then we'll give the results at the end of the show.
All right, and tonight's poll question is?
Tonight's poll question is, which Shelby County League boys cross-country team do you feel will be the league champion come October? There's 4 really good teams this year, Craig. I feel any one of these 4 honestly could win it. I personally went on to vote for myself, and I was like, boy, I don't know who to vote for. So, but between those 4, you've got Anna, Fort Loramie, Russia, and Botkins. All 4 very good caliber teams this year with a lot of depth. And so our viewers out there, which one of those 4 do you feel will be the Shelby County League champion?
All right, and if you're watching us on the Fish Report Live page, you can scroll down, answer that poll question, and check the results. If you're watching us on NK Telco or you're watching us on Game Face Ohio, Ken and I will have those results for you at the end of the show. All right, Ken, well, let's get things started, and we're going to start out yakking about some girls cross country. That's one of my favorite sports. One of the reasons we started this show 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, I guess. And we're going to start out talking about that. And the Shelby County preview was this past Tuesday. I know you and I were both there. Heavy D and TK were both there as well. And I want to get your impressions from the Shelby County preview and the Bob Shoal was this last Saturday as well. What's your early thoughts on girls cross country?
Well, first of all, Craig, the Shelby County preview, which was held at Russia this year, you could not have asked for better weather for August. It was a cold night. It was about 65 degrees, unseasonably cool, some very good times. And I think the Russia Raiders girls team showed right off the bat, Craig, that they're going to be a force not only in the county, the district, the regional, but also in the state. They're a very good team this year. And the other thing, Craig, or the other runner I was impressed with was Chloe Flora, the Bakken senior standout, Craig, right off the bat. The first quarter mile of that race, she set the tone right away and said, hey, ladies, I'm going to win this race. If you're going to beat me, you're going to have to run and chase me right now because I'm going to take the lead. And so those two things really impressed me. And the following at the Bob Shoal was very similar. Chloe Flora again winning the race, and the Russia Lady Raiders finishing second, Craig, behind a very strong Minster girls cross-country team.
Yeah, the Minster girls awfully good. Fortunately for the Raiders, they're not going to have to worry about them come postseason until the state meet, and that's because they'll be going to the Tiffin Regional. But very good. They're gonna see them several times this year, and that's going to be a tough match. I noticed at the top 50 runners in the state of Ohio in Division III just came out last night, and there was a number of Russia girls listed in there. Molly Kearns was in there, listed at 8th or 12th, somewhere in there. I think 12th actually. Lauren Heaton was in there at 18th, but and you had Minster girls sprinkled in there too. There was a name in second though that caught my eye, and she actually runs for Peebles High School, and then some people may not know where that's at, but her name is Jenny Cease. And I think a lot of people probably recognize that last name, may not recognize the first name, and that's because last year she was an 8th grader at Coldwater. Her family moved down south, but she's a freshman now. Second fastest time in the state of Ohio in just her first meet.
That's pretty impressive, Craig. And, I was aware that the Cease family did move down to Peebles, and they, great running family, Craig, and I'm sure she'll have a very successful career down there.
All right, well, let's move ahead and talk about some boys cross country. Same thing. They ran at the preview last Tuesday as well. We saw some boys at the Bob Shoal. They also ran up in Delphus and Salina this past weekend. What's your thoughts on the early boys cross country?
Well, Craig, my thoughts on the boys right off the bat was it's going to be a tight race. You've got Anna's got a very good team. Fort Loramie was to me surprisingly very strong, finishing just a point behind Anna. I think Russia's got some younger kids that are going to improve. They don't quite have the numbers this year, Craig, but they've got some very good runners, and I think they're going to be right there come towards the end of the season. And then the team that really surprised me at the Bob Shoal meet was Bakkens. Bakkens came around, actually beat Russia at the Bob Shoal. So to me now I look at the Shelby County League race and think this is a 4-team race, and any one of these 4 could win come October.
All right, well, the team that, in my opinion, right now has to be number one is probably the Anna Rockets. They beat Fort Loramie by 1 point at the preview. They beat a good Van Wert team by 1 point last week at Delphus, and the guy that's been leading them for these last couple races is their junior, Lucas Huber. We're happy to have him live on the phone right now. Lucas, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, listen, congratulations. Just mentioned that you won the Shelby County preview last Tuesday. You got second up there in Delphus. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I talked to your coach, Stewart, last Tuesday after the preview, and I said, Coach, be honest with me. Did you think Lucas was going to win this race? And Lucas, he gave me that look. He was a little surprised, I think. He didn't come out and say that, but I think he looked a little surprised. I want to know, did you envision this kind of start for the start of the season?
Not really. I know before the race we were doing stretches, and Korash came up to me and he said, Lucas, you're going to win this race. And I laughed at him. And I said, there's no way, because I can think of 10 people from this county right now that can beat me. And he said, you're winning it. And I didn't believe him at all.
All right, well, it was certainly a good race, and like I said, you've started out the season very well. I want to ask you about your summer training. Now, you hear some differing opinions on what to do over the summer. Some people are real big on resting over the summer. Some other teams are real big about getting a lot of miles over the summer. What did you do to get into condition for this season?
The big thing is getting out every day and running. 5 to 6 days a week I ran, and I didn't do anything super complicated or super dramatic. Just 6 to 10 miles a day. Most of the days it was 8 miles, and then it just kind of depended on how I was feeling, where I went from there.
Lucas, hi, this is Ken. And let's talk a little bit about the other stars on your team. You guys got a very good team this year. You got a lot of depth. You're going to be a top 10 team in Ohio all year probably. But who else is running well for the Rockets?
We always have Tyler. Tyler's kind of our clutch man. He's always there for us when we got him. And then we dropped down to Brad. Brad never ran before, and he started running his 8th grade year, and he's been really solid ever since, and he's getting better every day. Then we go down to Joel. Joel, he's a sleeper at the beginning of the season, but by the end of the season, he'll be there for us, and he'll surprise a lot of people, I think. And then we go down to Korash and Matthew. They got a lot of big goals, especially Korash. Korash is working his butt off, and then Matt, he's still new to everything. He's still figuring it all out. And I think by the end of the season, he'll be right where we want him.
Lucas, this coming week you run at Columbus Grove on Saturday. Typically the Columbus Grove course, it's no secret, it produces very fast times. What are your expectations for this and Saturday's race and your thoughts going into it?
Well, it's definitely a fast course. It was my fastest time last year. And it's probably one of my favorite courses to run at. It's fast and the competition's there. And my thoughts on it, it's going to be a little hot, but I think we'll be just fine. Personally, I hope to just run about what I've been running and maybe have a run at the top.
Lucas, the regular season is simply training for the postseason. Cross country, the real races start October and November. Last year, the Rockets made it to state. What's it going to take this year for the Anna Rocket team to be successful, make it back to state, and place higher than what they did last year?
We definitely have the depth to place higher. Stewart, he knows how to coach us. He coaches to put teams in the state meet every year, and it's going to take a lot of hard work, and we can't let ourselves down. We got to keep working hard and stay focused. And probably one of the biggest things is injuries and health need to stay good as a whole team.
That's for sure, Lucas. And hey, listen, one more question, we'll let you go. Now, you mentioned Coach Stewart, and hopefully he's not listening to this right now because I want to talk about him here a little bit. And he's actually a friend of ours, and he lives here in Russia, of course. See him running around a lot. He still runs, but occasionally we like to give him a hard time. And I want to know, be honest with me, he's told us stories about when he was in high school and when he was in college and when he ran. Does he ever make you boys sit through those same stories that we've heard, or is he a pretty good guy?
Oh my gosh, he goes on. It's weekly. I've heard the same stories multiple times, but it's fun. It's fun to listen to him. He'll be talking about something and he'll just get completely off topic and he'll tie it in and he'll say, when I was in high school or when I was in college, and he goes on for 10 minutes and we're just standing there listening to him.
I tell you what, he's a pretty good coach. I know that.
Good runner, good
yes,
coach, and a good guy. He's a hard worker, too. I was kidding him the other day. I said, Coach, this is just like a home meet for you, only you're not making popcorn also.
All right, Lucas.
Nope,
well, hey, listen, good luck this Saturday in Columbus Grove. Good luck the rest of the season. And thanks for joining us tonight on the show.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Good luck, Lucas.
Thank you.
All right, that was Anna star Lucas Huber. And Ken, as I mentioned, Anna beat Fort Laramie by 1 point in the preview, 1 point over Van Wert at Delphus. It's more than just one guy, isn't it? It's about the team in the end.
Absolutely, Craig. And even the guys that aren't scoring, even the ones that are finishing, 8th, 9th, 10th for the Rocket team, they're constantly pushing the 5, 6, and 7 runners and the 4, 5, 6 runners, they're pushing the 1, 2, 3, 4 runners. So you need that depth. You need everybody pushing each other. It makes everybody practice harder, makes everybody work a lot harder, and it also doesn't guarantee anybody a spot on their team come race day on Saturday. So you want to run all out, and Anna's got it this year. A very good team, and like I said, they're going to be challengers. The Shelby County League's got some good teams.
I got one more quick question for you too. You mentioned the regionals last year and going on to state. Had 3 teams from the Shelby County League go to state with Russia, Anna, and Botkins. Any chance a 4th team, maybe Fort Laramie, could slip into that?
Boy, wouldn't that be interesting, Craig? And it could happen. There's other good teams out there, but right now it's kind of hard hard to tell because, a lot of teams are just starting their season off. And, we'll lay things out here in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we'll be able to probably tell that pretty well who's going to advance.
Give it a couple weeks yet.
That's right.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to take a short break, but stay right there because when we come back, we're going to talk some golf, and we might even fit in a little volleyball and football. Stay there. We'll be right back.
Stage at the leaving van. Music starts at 8 o'clock. You can find us here every Wednesday night. It's usually the same cats every week, but I can't tell you all their names. Teacher, cat, and a junkie, all waiting for time to play. Everybody here's got something that we're trying to leave behind. We're all a little broken, for a place to hide. Get no answers, don't ask any questions. We're all here just looking for a high. And we're all beautifully broken here tonight.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Before the break, we were talking some girls and boys cross country, fit both those subjects in. Want to try to hit all the sports tonight. So to do that, we're going to go back to the sound room, check in with TK and Heavy D again. And TK, I'm going to start with you. I know you follow the girls volleyball, at least you have in the past. Maybe not as closely this year, but you're kind of our volleyball expert here. So what do we got going on early in the volleyball season?
Well, Craig, not too many surprises so far early in the season, and kind of you expect that. Just like cross country, everybody's just starting to warm up and feel out how they're replacing seniors and some of the stars that they've lost. So I think we've got the stats for the year so far. If we flip those up heavy, we can look at that. This is the SCAL so far. A lot of people at 1-0 and a lot of people at 0-1 because we're, again, just getting started. A lot of out-of-league play going on. Jackson Center up there at 4-0. Something that everybody, I think, expected. And that might stay a 0 on the right side the rest of the year as they went 25-1 last year and did not lose much, if anything. You've got Anna and Fort Laramie right in there at 1-0. Teams that lost a little bit but are starting to find some juniors turned into seniors and filling in some spots. And then rest out at the bottom there. Rushi not playing too bad at 3-1. Now get into some league play, so we'll see how that turns out. As they've dropped a lot of height and a couple really good players with the senior group that graduated from last year. So going to be interesting to watch how that top of that list works its way out the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll talk about volleyball more in the weeks to come. And now I'm going to hit on a little boys golf, which we'll talk more about that in weeks to come as well. But Heavy D, I know you're the boys golf expert back there. What's going on in boys golf right now?
Yeah, we've had a good fall for golf so far. I've been to quite a few matches. 3 teams right now. I'm looking to lead the county. We've got Rushi, the returning county champs from last year. Look for Laramie. Look for Anna to be right in the hunt. I know Rushi played Laramie the other night, and it was a fairly close match. And Laramie played Anna the other night over, I believe it was Shelby Oaks, and Anna actually beat Laramie in a tiebreaker. So they keep the top 4 scores. The best team wins, but they actually tied, so they went to the 5th golfer, and Anna came out on top there. So, we've got a couple returning lettermen across the county this year. For Laramie, we've got Brad Guttermiller, who put up numbers consistently for 18 holes last year in the 70s. So look for Brad to be on top again this year, competing in every match. We've got Tanner Rosengarten, also from Laramie, a senior. Look for Tanner to be right in the hunt. For Anna, we've got junior Zach Watchern back again this year, and Zach's been there the last couple of years and consistently getting better. Look for him to lead the Rockets. And then for Russia, we've got a couple. We've got Zach Sherman back again last year from the varsity team. Jonah Counts back again, and Connor Monin. Those three are putting numbers up. This year, they've all had their PRs, all been in the. Actually, they all had. Zach and Connor had 79s, and Jonah actually had a 74 over at Echo Hills a couple weeks ago, one stroke shy of the school record. We've also got Gunnar Young coming in as a senior. This is Gunnar's first year on varsity, but look for him to be make an impact as well. And a couple young golfers also. We got Jack Daypore, who's a sophomore, who's putting up good numbers, and Dylan Cadonier, a junior, who looks for him to compete also. So, it's going to be a good county race. It's going to come down to the Shelby County match over at the Shelby Oaks here in a couple weeks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is, and thanks for that report, Heavy D. Good stuff there, and I certainly expect Ken in the boys golf, the Shelby County Athletic League, to advance on from districts to the state and represent the Shelby County League at some point.
We hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's ever been done. So it's one of these times it's going to happen.
I think this is the year.
Hopefully this is the year.
Some good golf being played out there, let's talk a little bit about girls golf. Let's jump ahead to girls golf, and not much in the Shelby County League. You got Fort Larman, you got Russia, and we're going to talk about the Russia Raiders tonight. They got their MVP, Kara Barloggy, back, and it never hurts when you have your MVP back. And I know you especially like her because she's a lefty.
I like Kara. I like her a lot, Craig. She's a left-handed golfer. Some of the best golfers in the world, Mike Weir, Phil Mickelson. Locally, you got Emily Knopf and myself. So, we're all left-handed. We all hit the ball left-handed. And actually, I'm not very good. But yeah, she's a good player. Coach Borchers has got a great group of girls, and looking forward to talking to him tonight on the phone. He's been the head coach of the Lady Raiders for this is his 7th year, and does a great job with the kids.
All right, well, let's bring him on. Coach Borchers, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Very well. Hello?
All right, Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live.
Yeah, I can just barely hear you guys.
All right, well, listen, we'll try to crank it up here a little bit, but you're kind of coming off a record-breaking season last year where you advanced from the district tournament to the district tournament for the first time in school history. Were there any concerns coming into this season, Coach, about duplicating the kind of success that you had last year?
Yeah, I'd say we had some concerns, Craig. Mainly because we had such great balance last year. The key to our success last year is our 5th or 6th girl could be our best scorer any given night. So we had a nice season because of that balance. And the concern this fall was how are we going to fill those 2 roles, because we had 4 lettermen returning, and could we get that same kind of balance by year end? And then early on, the girls set themselves some pretty lofty goals, and one of them was to repeat that district trip they made last year, and another one, as they say it, is to bring home some hardware. And while we've had some good success last few years, all of our invitational finishes have been 3rd, 4th, or 5th place, but it takes 1st or 2nd to get a trophy and medals. And they wanted some visual proof of their success, and thankfully they got it at the Arcana Invitational a few weeks ago. And they're pretty proud of that hardware on display in the school trophy case right now.
Yeah, if I understand, that was the first time that you can remember a girls varsity team bringing home hardware. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think it is.
All right, well, now, the way I understand the golf, and I think I got this right, but your varsity team consists of 6 girls but 4 score. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to ask, who have been your most consistent 4? You play 6, but who've been your most consistent 4 on the team this year so far?
Well, those 4 back from last year's varsity squad, they've been our top 4 scorers every match so far, Craig. Some seniors there, Alicia George, Kara Barloggy, Lizzie Adams, plus junior Maddie Borchers. The other 3 getting closer and closer each week, though. I think their scores are going to start qualifying on our team's top 4 in the next week or 2, and those 3 are senior Ellie Fishinger, who's up off of last year's JV squad, and we got 2 freshmen, Shay Borchers and Raven Berger. We're going to need those 3 this next month leading up to tournament if we're going to repeat that success from last year.
Hi, Coach. This is Ken. Let's talk a little bit about your big match coming up Thursday night. You take on the Fort Loramie Redskins. Now, in the Shelby County League, there's no league championship because technically you and Fort Loramie are the only two schools with enough golfers to have a team. Does this take away a little bit of the excitement of this upcoming match, or is this still a big rivalry and a lot to play for on Thursday night?
Yeah. Ken, the girls know who their rival is. I'll tell you that right now. Those team goals I just talked about, number one on their list was to beat Laramie. They've been focusing on that since the season started. You know, while they're great friends with those Laramie girls, they still want to beat them, and I think that's a Russia thing. They're excited for tomorrow night. It won't be easy because there's a young lady over there in red and black who's one of the top female golfers in the entire state of Ohio. You might have heard of her before, Miss Emily Knopf. So we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Coach, speaking of Emily Knopf, let's talk about her for a minute. We all know she's a great golfer. You've coached against her a few times. What does she bring to the game of golf locally at the girls' level? How important is having a successful golfer like that? And it's kind of a twofold question here. Also, what is it that makes her so good?
Well, and those two questions go together. Ken, she's by far the most fundamentally sound young player I've ever seen on the course. And what an example for the other girls that hard work equals success. All those girls know how much she works on her game, and they can all see how good of a player she is. She works on it every day of the year. She's perfecting her game. She drives the ball with unbelievable accuracy. She never seems to be in trouble, and she's just flawless around the greens, and that comes from all that practice. And on top of that, she's such a competitor, so focused and poised. Just an impressive young player, Ken.
All right, Coach. Hey, one more thing. Ken mentioned a little earlier that this is your 7th season this year, and I guess I could ask this question to a lot of coaches and get a lot of different answers. But I want to ask you, what keeps you coming back every year? What motivates you to go out there and teach the game of golf?
Well, Craig, I got into it. My oldest daughter was a sophomore. She really loved the game, but about 3 or 4 months before the season, they didn't have a coach. So I thought, what a better way to share experiences with my daughter than to do it at a place I love also, which is the golf course. So it kind of started out that way, but now I'm coaching my 4th daughter, and I'm still loving it just as much as then. So I'd say my satisfaction comes from watching the girls improve, watching them succeed and hit their goals, and in addition, growing a little bit as young ladies in the process. And golf teaches you a lot about life also. We discuss those kind of things just about every day with those girls. So, that's some of those kind of things. On top of that, it's always pretty cool when I see former players around town. I just did a couple weeks ago, and they tell me how much they miss high school girls golf. So that tells me they had a great time doing it too.
Well, listen, Doug, much appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to get on our show tonight. We also appreciate all the hard work you do for Russia Girls Golf and wish you the best of luck, not only tomorrow night, but the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, guys, and thanks for all you guys are doing for this area's high school athletes. That's pretty cool.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Take care.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right, that was Russia coach Doug Borchers, and I know he talked about coaching his daughters. I believe he's got a couple more daughters, so it's a good chance he might be doing this for a while.
He might be. He's got a few more coming up in the works, so he'll be coaching a while.
All right, guys, we got a couple more minutes left. We've hit about every sport that we wanted except football. Got to get something out there for the football fans, and I want to do something different tonight. I want to go around the horn here and talk to or ask each guy one team that they're keeping their eye on early this season. Doesn't necessarily have to be the team that may or may not win the state championship, but let's start back in the sound room. I want to start back there, guys, and let's start out with Heavy D. Heavy D, I want to know one team you're keeping your eye on this season.
Great question. I'm keeping my eye on the New Bremen Cardinals. They started out this season with a win over the Bradford Railroaders, 21-0, and this was the Cardinals' first win in 2.5 years. It's also Coach Chris Smith's first year at New Bremen, and with 31 of the 41 players on the rosters being freshmen and sophomores, they're one team that's got that I got my eye on.
Well, first win in 2.5 years. That's a good one to start out with. TK,
Yep.
what do you got? Can you top that?
I might be able to, but I'm not sure completely. We've got the Troy Christian Eagles. 3rd year, I believe, that they've had football, and they brought over a nice new coach. Coach Nolan used to be at Troy High School, and he brought them to a first game victory, 49, I believe it was 49-0, yes, over Lima Perry, a team that has 18 starters back. So not just a walkover on that one. And Troy Christian has a nice running back, Luke Dillahunt, a kid to watch. He's an all-star, played well last year, and I think he'll do well this year. So it'll be kind of fun to watch how they progress after that nice win and see how the rest of the season works out for them.
All right, 2 good ones, guys. Let's bring it back in Studio F here. And Ken, I'm going to go to you. What team you keeping your eye on?
Craig, I'm keeping my eye on the Troy Trojans. You know, they came over to the Shelby County League. They took the Fort Laramie Redskins, Coach Burbacher. They had a 1-9 season last year. They had a huge win over Chaminade Julienne on opening weekend. They beat them 42-31. The Trojans are for real this year, Craig. And there's one other thing I want to mention. I want to keep my eye on an individual, and that's Josh Nixon from Minster. This kid can flat out throw a football. He had 6 touchdown passes in the first half against the Fort Laramie Redskins. I had the pleasure of spending a whole summer with Josh on the baseball diamond, and I tell you what, this kid is a phenomenal athlete and a great quarterback. Keep your eye on the Troy Trojans and Josh Nixon.
All right, that's a good one, too. I'm going to end it. You guys are all picking first-year coaches here, so I'm going to end it with a first-year coach over at Anna. This will probably please our Anna viewers tonight, but Nick Marino over there at Anna, their first-year head coach. Now, granted, Anna got beat last week against Arlington. They were up 14-0 in the fourth quarter. Actually got beat by a field goal in overtime, but Anna, I think, travels to Brookville maybe this weekend on Friday night, and I look for them to get back on track. So keep your eye on the Anna Rockets.
All right.
All right, well, listen, that's good stuff, and that's going to do it for us tonight. Not bad for a Season 5 debut show, was it?
Nope, we did well, and we had a lot of viewers out there tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and watch us the next many, many months, and we'll be out here.
Yeah, we got one more thing to get to, though, and that is the poll question. We got, I think, 30 seconds left, so let's take it back to the guys in the sound room. And Ken, what was our poll question, by the way?
Poll question was, which Shelby County League boys cross-country team will win the Shelby County League Championship in October? Anna, Fort Laramie, Russia, or Botkins? Back to the sound room. What's the results?
Well, I think we had a lot of listeners from Anna because of our first guest today, Lucas. And Anna is far and away the favorite at 64% of our listeners say that Anna is going to win the boys cross country this year.
Well, that's probably a fair prediction, don't you think, Craig?
Either that or we need to get more Rushi, Botkins, and Fort Laramie listeners.
That's right.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. I do want to say special thanks to our guests, Lucas Huber and Coach Borchers, for joining us tonight. Ken and I and the crew, we're all going to be back again next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and good night, everyone.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pole. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report.